Hey there, hockey families. What an honor. I'm going to introduce you to the America's hockey family, the Nichols family. Ryan, Aydan, Becca, and Eric. Wow, what an honor to meet this family so many years ago and watch them just become the powerhouse hockey family. And I'm talking about the whole family, the way they support each other, the encouragement, the positive mojo in the family, all the traveling, all the challenges, the injuries, the future, the amazing ability for both of them to be invited to the NHL Combine in their teens. Stay with me for 2 episodes. Meet the Nichols family. This is going to be fun. You're going to enjoy it.
Well, hey, I just wanted to reach out and tell you guys what a pleasure it's been to follow your journey. You know, from the first time I saw you guys in the kitchen in Chicago when you had the skate weights on your shoes next to the island with the I got it over here with a marble island. You had a hockey shirt on. Aydan had a Bauer jacket on.
Thank you, Mr. Sean, for the power skate. Thank you for the weights, and I just came in.
And you know, I've been, you know, your parents are so good at you know, following your hockey world around. I've been able to kind of be a fan in the background, you know, through the years. So it's really been fun to watch you guys evolve into young men and grow into, you know, hockey and take it so seriously. And I just wanted to let you guys know that there's someone like me that you don't know that well. I'm proud of you guys. You guys have done a great job.
Thank you.
I know how hard it's been, and I know that, you know, the discipline and the time and everything it takes to do what you've done. You guys have gotten through a lot really fast, and well, not fast, but through the years, you've done really well for yourselves. So, so what would you say? What would you guys say was been the hardest part of your journey so far? What was the toughest part?
I would say the hardest part is discipline. You know, waking up every day and being like, hey, I gotta go to the rink, I gotta shoot pucks, I gotta work out. Like, to be able to constantly do that every day was the hardest part. But you know, you gotta love it and push through it and do it for the love of the game.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Ryan there. Like, if I didn't have the discipline that I had, there's no way I could have been where I am right now.
Okay? Control back, control out. Come on, Ryan! Ryan! Half step. Set it down right there. Right now, you don't have to set it down on the red. Good, that's perfect. Keep going. Good.
No, I didn't really see it.
Good.
Up there.
Nice.
Oh, I like that.
Good. Get your arms straight. Good. Now. Okay. Good. This is all. Keep your head still. Think about shooting the puck. You can't take your eye off the puck. Okay?
I like it.
Come on. Right out. Jump stop. Set it down. Once you come out, hips forward. Right there. Now pull in with your hips. That's what I want. Hips forward. Arms forward. Pull with your hips. Attaboy.
So tell me what's a day in the life of Aydan and Ryan? What's it like to jump out of bed, and what do you do first, and how much time do you put in every day into your routine?
Hey, Ryan, are you ready? Yeah. All right. What's your plans today, buddy?
Well, can you take me to the gym?
I can. Are you going with anyone, or what are you doing?
Just myself.
Gotcha. All right. So are you going to wait for your brother or no?
No, I'll go later with him.
Okay. So you're going to go today and then just go back later?
Yeah, that's what my plan is.
Okay. All right. Well, I will send this to, it's funny, Sean wanted to know how your day started. So I told him you do this every single day.
Yeah.
It's kind of like clockwork. So, all right, man, I'll get my shoes on. Let's get out.
And get to your level as they are. So tell me what a day in the life of Aydan and Ryan looks like.
Yeah, so I mean, we wake up, of course we eat, and then usually I'll go to the gym for about an hour or two. have a great workout plan from my coaches, so I'll do that. I'll come home, take a little rest, and I'll shoot at least 2-3 buckets of pucks.
So see, it's just like you're just dragging. I'd rather you pop it a little bit. You get a little more zip line. You pop it harder.
Trying to sneak over the shoulder.
Good. That's actually pretty good. That's a lot of hand is really good. Try getting it. So try dragging it a little more where you can it in front of you, not into you, but in front of you. So you can get a little more into this.
Today. Then I'll go to practice, do practice, and then come back and finish the night off with one-handed shooting pucks just to get my forearms and wrist stronger. And helps me shoot the puck harder.
So one-handed shots. So how would you say, how many one-handed shots do you do a day?
So a whole bucket, so about 100 pucks, so about 20 heavy ones and then 100 regular pucks.
And they go to a public school. So when they say they go to the gym, they go to school till 2:20. Then they come home, and as soon as they get in, it's not me. It's them saying, "Hey, Dad, can you take me to the gym?" Luckily, they've got Mountainside Fitness close to the high school, so they go right there, and then I pick them up about 2.5 hours later.
Okay. So when you guys go to the gym, do you have trainers there? Do you just got buddies you work out with, or is there a scheduled routine or what?
So what it is since I'm away from Philly right now, I got a workout plan from my coach for the weekend. So I'll either go with Aydan or a friend that on like my team last year, or I'll go by myself sometimes since some of the kids are at school. So I'll just go by myself.
Okay.
And then also what was nice was their trainers have an online app, and it really keeps them, from just going to the gym and working out. They have an app that they have to fill out, and they input their stuff. So it tracks both of their things. They look at their phone and it says, this is our workout for the day. Here's what we do. So I don't go with them. I don't manage them. Then their trainer looks at it and kind of reviews it with them.
What's that app called?
Heroic Training, I'm pretty sure it's called.
What is it?
Heroic Training.
Heroic Training?
I think it might be a local one. Our trainer, works at a big company, and he's like, "Hey, this is great because it's viral, Eric, so you don't need to, or virtual, sorry, you don't need to be there, and I don't need to be there." So, which has really helped for me as a dad, and my wife's at work, I'm at work.
Okay.
It's hard to do that. And the boys can literally be like, "Dad, this is virtual." Like, we go and fill our stuff in. And if we have a problem, we text our trainer and say, "Hey, what do I do?" And it has videos. Like, if they don't know what to do, they hit a button and there's a picture of them, what to do. But they're pretty good.
Awesome. So I remember seeing photographs of one of your guys' helmets that was pretty cracked up. Who's had the worst injury so far? Aydan?
So far, probably me. I had a bubble, a plastic shield, and just got into a collision, and it cut my lip in half, and gave me a major concussion. So went to the hospital for I think a few days, and recovered pretty well. It's hard to notice it, but still have a small scar. That's it. But other than that, I'm back. So
yeah, that was pretty shocking to see that injury. I'm really glad that you were able to get through that and get back in the game. Are you nervous out there at all anymore, or is that pretty much gone by?
At one point I was still a bit nervous, a little hesitant, but over time I just got over it, and yeah, now I'm just confident again. So
awesome.
It's probably taken Sean 2 years. It was a pretty horrific. There was the ambulance, they cleared the highway, just because the tragedy of it, half of his body was almost paralyzed. So, it took a while, and just the memories now coming back. That's where he ran into it. So, it gives you a whole new meaning when you have an accident like that, to recoup and recover slowly.
Right, right. So you guys do a lot of traveling around the country. Do you guys get lots of Delta miles, or how's your travel working? You guys,
Yeah, we have a lot of American Airlines and Southwest points, so it gets some free flights from there.
Yeah, it's 16 tournaments a year when you look at it. It's about 8 for each boy. Because the others might be local, like Aydan's down here in Arizona this year, so he might go to California, Vegas, some that aren't bad. Ryan's in Philly, so half of Ryan's are bus trips. So we kind of catch a break there, on the buses. But you just, as a parent, you got to get the credit cards that earn the miles, because it adds up. It's a lot of travel.
right. So when you're in Philly, do you play in the Midwest northern region there? Do you get up into Michigan, Detroit area?
Yeah, so we'll play around that area. We'll play mostly in like the upper eastern area. So we'll play like teams from like Boston and Pittsburgh and stuff like that. And then when it comes to like tier 1, we'll come down to Minnesota and play like Illinois teams, Michigan teams, and all of that.
Okay, awesome. So now in the junior Phillies program, how many kids are from out of state?
I wouldn't say many. A lot of kids from there take at least an hour, maybe hour 30 drive to get to practice every day or games down there. But if it was an estimate, about 10 kids are from out of state that I know of. But most of us come in same time because we all have training camp for 2 weeks. So we'll all come in same time and then settle in and go to training camp.
So Aydan, how's that gonna feel with him gone? How's that gonna be for you?
No, it's gonna be a bit hard having him not here, but I mean, it's just another reason to push myself, because if I want to get as far as he's been getting, gotta push myself like how he did.
That's good. That's good. That was a great answer, because when I was in Detroit, I had a lot of NHL players with me in the Troy rink there, and Kevin Hatcher was one of the guys who retired and came onto into the scene with us, and I coached his kid Cole, and Kevin told me, he said when he moved away at 16, he knew that it was serious, and he knew that he had to quit messing around and really take it serious. And of course, him and his brother Darian both, had a full career in the NHL, and they did really well. But he was kind of upset at first, he said, but then once he realized that the training was working, and that him and his brother were both, headed for the NHL, and they thought their dad was pretty tough on them, pushing them like that, but they were really glad they did it in the end,
Yeah.
So
what's really been nice, Sean, is that I tell the boys I support their dreams. You know what I mean? So some people live for their kids and they do it for them. I've not done that. I tell them I'm just as happy if they play in Arizona. We're literally, I'm not exaggerating, we're a minute 20 seconds from the junior Coyotes rink. But it's just, they chose, Ryan chose, he's met with a number of different coaches that have talked to him at the USHL Combine. We went to the NOW Combine, both of them. We had Aydan had scouts that wanted him to move to the California Bears. Carshield looked at it. So they've had a number of teams reach out. And I just said to the boys, whatever you want. Like, if you guys want to play local, we'll do local. If you want to play, and really the deciding factor for both of them that have talked is that because we're in Arizona, it's hard. You're on you're traveling all the time, because you don't have anyone local. So, and Ryan really is interested in college, shows Aydan. And John Rover with the Flyers, that was his thing, is he said, Eric, we have over 20 D1 colleges. So your son's a junior, Ryan, he's going to be seen by all these colleges. Plus, in between going to a tournament, I'll help him go and visit the college. I know coaches, I'll make a phone call. So I said, that's really, the goal. And Aydan said the same thing. When they're looking at colleges, it's going to work out perfect. We're here, we have ASU, which is awesome. But it's one college he's trying to make. There, it's a whole bunch. And they chose the teams themselves. they've made the decisions. I've not made any but sit there and, as a dad, say, here's the pros, here are the cons. What do you want to do? Because this is your choice, you know, and I give them the choices from high school hockey to travel to, you know, college to here's your goals. What do you want? And then I leave it to the boys to grow as young men and guide them, but let them make their career path. You know, this is their journey, not mine. I had mine back in the 70s, you know what I mean? They have theirs now, and I'm just here to guide them as a dad and do the best I can, and then find great coaches. You know, we've had great coaches. Ryan and Aydan played for the same coach, different, you know, he was in 08, he's in 07, but we had Brandon West, which is awesome. He was a coach in the BCHL and has taught the boys, you know, really how to play the game and understand it at that next level. And he got Ryan to go to the next level and said, it's time for you to go. And so we have John Roger that's now taking over with Ryan, and Aydan is with Brandon West for a second year, which is fantastic. They know what they're doing. You know, at the Bobcats, we have Ron, who's been there. You got Brandon West. Those are the two that really work with the boys, and they get them to the next level. And they did fantastic. You know what I mean? They really have. They teach the systems you need to go to the next level, and then they've helped push them and said, hey, it's time for you to go. So Aydan this year, that's his goal. He said, Dad, I want to go hard. And, you know, I want this to be the year that coaches come to me and offer. You know, it was good because I talked to John Roger, Coach Roger today, and he's like, hey, we're here for your son, man. We better be the first choice. If he goes, I'm ready to talk to him and see if we can get him here.
Nice, nice. So how many years did you guys play in house hockey, and what year did you start moving into travel or, you know, single A, double A, triple A?
So I believe we started house around like maybe 6-ish.
4. We skipped house. They went right to travel at my level, because I think they started at 4, where I have all the videos. But they had a learn to skate, you know, where you learn the stick, you learn to skate, and then they went right directly there. And I think this was back in Illinois, but that core group of kids, Sean, just happened to be a random weird thing. And I say that because I want to say 4 or 5 of those kids are still our friends, are at Mission, Illinois. They're at Shattuck. You know what I mean?
Really?
So we were blessed back then. You know, we had Adrian Lecoin and Eric Daze as our coaches. So, you know, and those are big stars, and because their kids are the same age. And it just happened to be when we were at Camlin with Doug Bossy, that's where we started as little kids. Man, he's just, they've all been great. You know, the coaches have taken us to the next level, but it's kind of neat, as these boys will say, because they watch their friends. Like, we just went to the USA development camp and the USHL Combine, and we're sitting there watching friends that are coming up, that are playing for Mission, they're playing for Shattuck, they're playing, you know, we're all over the place, but it's kind of cool that we're like, I'm sharing videos. You've seen my videos on YouTube where I'm like, oh my God, I got a picture of AJ and Brady when they were 5 with the boys, you know? So it's really been a neat journey for the boys as well.
Wow, that's amazing. So honestly, I didn't really expect to still be involved in hockey when I started with the Power Skater product, right? I just kind of did it as I saw that there was 2 coaches in Detroit area that over time had like 30 state championships between them. And I kind of launched it as kind of a way to get into a retail product. And I love the game of hockey, and I was coaching at the time. But now, you know, it's kind of gone to the next level, and we're going to see it in pure hockey this fall. And I haven't really been pushing it super hard. The year before COVID, 2018-19, we were number 1 in hockey in the hockey skate category. And, you know, you guys are a couple of kids that started off with them, you know, fairly young. In fact, you had my first version that, you know, you actually inspired the design and then some of the engineering changes from the first version to the next version. So you guys were early adapters, but now the product is really starting to take off. And, you know, we saw there was at least, so Aydan, you and went to nationals this year,
Yeah.
right? And was that in Colorado? Where was that?
Yeah, so for my division, we were up in Colorado, right? Yeah, Colorado.
Okay. And then you came pretty close. How'd you guys do up there?
We did pretty good, but we could have done a lot better still, but
Okay.
And they ran into a case of the nerves. We went in as one of the top seeds, just struggled the first couple games, nervousness, and then when we got our wheels going, we would have, if we would have played like that, they would have won. So it's a solid team. Great journey, like I said, though. Bobcats are just really developing the boys.
So I gotta have to give your dad some credit, a lot of credit for being a hockey dad, amazing hockey dad, and your mom too. They're definitely they're the benchmark, for parents in the hockey world to be as supportive and generous, and I'm sure they're tough on you at times, but your mom and dad are believe it or not, a big monster reason you guys are where you are. And without Facebook and being able to watch you guys grow and evolve through the years, we probably wouldn't be doing this together, right? But but so for the other parents out there, Eric, how many hours a week do you spend traveling, driving around, working with the boys? I mean, how much of this is your job?
Every hockey parent I talk to all has good journeys. I mean, but I think it's just it takes like a village when you hear that. You know what I mean? Because when I have two different ages, if they were the same age, I'm at the rink at the same time. But he may be at 7 o'clock, and when he was in town, he's at 8 o'clock. Yeah, so it is time consuming. I run an insurance agency, so I'm blessed, because some of these parents that have the 9 to 5 jobs, I don't know how they do it. It's really time consuming. You know what I mean? It takes asking if anyone on the team needs me to help pick up their kids. But our boys do a lot. So I think both boys are on the rink 4 days a week. And when Ryan was here, last year, it was 6 because his 4 and his 4 were different, and I'm like,
Right.
Good. Aydan don't have Saturday, and then I look at the schedule. I'm like, oh, never mind. Ryan's got it. So, but as you listen to everyone, and the reality of it is, Sean, you've been there. The journey's so fast, man. Like Ryan's birthday is tomorrow. He's 16, and I don't know how he got there. I mean, at the end of the day,
blinked a couple times. You blinked a couple times.
That's it. And I got luckily. Some people laugh, but my wife's wonderful, man. She takes a million pictures. And people are like, oh my God, the boys like, Mom, not again, not again. But what's beautiful is we can go back on, and I got pictures when they were 3 years old, 4 years old. And they remembered. It's crazy because my nephew said, hey, Ryan, you got that picture when, you learned to skate? He goes, yeah, remember when I was there and you were leaning over my shoulders? My dad's got that picture. So I think it's really the journey. It's weird when you say you live through your kids. I don't live through my kids. I enjoy the journey and I'm with them.
Right.
When I go to the rink, Sean, it's kind of my outlet. Some parents like to go and sit at the bar and socialize. I don't. Like I go and sit in the stands or sit at the corner. And I enjoy it, man. I watched Aydan yesterday. He had the power skates on, and I always look and I'm looking down and he's going by raising his foot, like, yes, Dad, I got him on. And I said, guys, it's just like when you're younger. When I was younger than you, Sean, you go to the gym. If you had a workout partner, you're fine.
Yeah.
But if your workout partner's sick for 5 days, it's hard. And these two really pushed each other.
Well, that's another thing, and Aydan, you've grown so much in the last couple of years. Who's taller now?
taller.
Are you tall? So you're taller now.
I think he's got him by like a centimeter. These guys, they're so competitive. They measure each other every day. Every day, it's like an argument. Oh my God.
So, so when I was coaching, I had a locker at the rink. I was at the rink 27 days a month. 27 days a month when I was coaching both kids, and I was involved in the Troy Sports Center in Troy, Michigan, which is a 3-rink sheet that you've probably been to. But it was a family event, right? Everybody was together. We were all traveling together. We were sometimes actually, right? I had a tournament in Chicago. My wife had a tournament over in Holland, Michigan, and we had hotels in 2 states, right?
Yep. That's what we have in January. I was like, oh, Ryan, I think it was no Aydan. I'm like, oh, Aydan's gonna be in Chicago. This is great. I get to see all our old friends. And then I look at the other map. I'm like, oh, never mind. Ryan's in Detroit. So Rebecca, my wife, will have to go. But like you said, I think with hockey, it's different because it's just a love, man. Unless the people watching your videos that play, you either hate hockey or you madly love it. There's no in between.
Right.
And that's why I say it's such a fast sport, so it's not boring. You're not sitting there going, oh my God, I wish my kid would get in. Where you're stuck at baseball, great sport they play, but you might be in the outfield for 3 hours, and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. In hockey, it's go, 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 go. And it's exciting to watch your kids excel. I tell the boys, I guess me as a parent is, you guys, it's sports you meet so many. When I interview people, Sean, like you with your business, it's the sports that turn them into great young men and businessmen.
Yeah.
They've had leadership from a coach, whether you like him or not, he's your boss in theory, and you got to learn to take lessons, like him, don't like him, but
one thing I want to throw at you guys, and it's something that I wish I would have known and believed in when I was younger and your age, is that let this sink in, because you don't notice it right away, but training works.
Yeah,
right.
Works. And I've seen it, coaching for years and years and years. I wish I would have believed in it more when I was a kid, because it's a slow process and it never happens overnight. But just always believe that what you're doing in training, whether you get discouraged or you might not feel like it's working, you just never stop, because it's working without you knowing it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the biggest thing I could give value to you guys is just every day believe when you're working out and you're not sure if it's working and you're not sure if it's going to help you, go harder and harder and harder and harder, because it is working and it will work. And so that's one thing, from my perspective, what I've learned over the years. Right. And I was a guy that started running marathons at 40, right? So I'm 40 years old. I'm like, I got to run a marathon, So I went through my marathon phase, I put the schedule on the refrigerator and started off with 1 mile. And, 25 weeks later, I was on the Detroit Marathon, So 1 week at a time, I add a mile every week, right? So
I think the skate weights, what's best is when we first started, the thing is we laughed when we got them, the half pound, you know what I mean? Because you're thinking, oh, this is silly. And then, sorry, we're getting attacked by a fly just zipping around. So if you see us doing this, we're all like, where's this fly coming from? But it's funny, I remember at the old house you said about the granite, the boys they were young. I mean, we're probably 8 years old maybe, and we're laughing because we're like, oh, this is like a can of corn. What's this going to do? And they put them on and they're like, oh man, like this is heavy. I feel like someone's hand is on my foot, And when you look, there isn't anything on the internet. You got the sandbags on your weight, because we showed the coaches old school. Like, oh, I used to skate with 5-pound ankle weights. And I'm like, yeah, a giant bag of sand. Like, and when the boys got them, they were younger. So people watching this, they're going to feel it. You know what I mean? Going from the half pound to a pound.
Right. I
said to the boys, can you tell? I'm like, oh my God, Dad. Like, yeah. Now I remember that. And it's funny because now Aydan, these boys work out, like you said, workout. They took the whole summer off for all the coaches, and they just worked out like crazy. So their legs are, huge tree trunks.
Right.
And it's funny, I said to Aydan yesterday, I said, how tired were you? You're wearing the skate weights. He's like, I can tell they're on there, but it's not like it used to be. And I'm like, yeah, because you're adapting.
Yeah,
know,
so what I
you
would
need to go
say,
like 5 pounds.
these are designed to stack, right? So if
Right.
you really want to get the burn going again, guys, take Aydan's 1-pounders and put them on top of your 1-pounders, skate with those for an hour. And so the thing is about the skate weights is like when you push, you're building up the backside of your thigh. When you
Yeah.
pull forward with that skate weight, you're building up the front side of your thigh. So if you one day have a chance to throw on a pound on top of a pound, let me know how that feels, and you'll feel that burn again. And
I'll do it the first day of practice when I get back, and I'll let you know.
yeah, let me know.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
you
I
can
think,
start off, throw a half pound on there first, try it
Yeah,
out.
I'll do that. I'll throw a half pound just to make sure I can be able to
and then,
skate.
Sean, we've talked, and we were just with my nephew, who's a high school coach and played juniors. And I think you and I have talked, and he just said to Ryan, like, there's a lot of great kids out there, lots of talent, but he's like, you just got to be 10% better.
Yes.
And when you're out there doing mountains and you're doing bag skating, Andrew was like, you got to love it. My nephew's like, Ryan, you got to look forward to bag skating, knowing that that's getting you to the next level. And that's what we said to the boys about the skate weights. You and I've had this conversation is everyone's going 110%, but Ryan, Aydan, you're the only ones with skate weights. You know what I mean? Because the rest of the kids, they're, what do you,
Right.
oh, that's not going to help. Well, guess what? Ryan's the fastest kid on the team. Aydan's now so it does help. And you use them if you want to get to that next level. If you really want AAA, or you want to be the best on your team, or you want to see if you can make the USHL or BCHL, any of the major juniors, you got to do something a little bit different than the rest of the kids.
Right.
And especially like Ryan and Aydan, where they're 5'8". We're playing kids that are 6'4". So I'm like, where are these giants from? I mean, they're big kids, but again, that's what the coaches all said. They're like, you don't have to be the biggest kid. I remember the one coach said, look at Shane Doan's legs, because he's at our rink all the time. And my God, when he walks by in shorts, his calves are the size of my thighs,
Right,
and they said there's guys in the NHL whose legs are giant. And that's what you boys got to focus on. So that's why we believe in the power skates, the weights, Sean, and the boys believe in it. During COVID, they would rollerblade because you couldn't go anywhere.
Right.
And I think I sent you a video. They're rollerblading with the
sure.
skate weights on. So, even kids that are doing, they can't get to the gym. They can't make it.
Right now, guys, there's kids scattered around the country right now. I got Curtis out of North Carolina, who ended up being one of the fastest kids in the state. He ended up going with his team to nationals into Minnesota. And then he's at Penn State right now, not on the club team, but he's on the club team, but the D1 coach is looking at him. And then there's another kid that just moved to what's the other development team, like the junior Phillies in your area. There's another kid that moved to Pennsylvania to get on another team that's your level. You might play against them.
The elite, the Flyers elite, or
it could be, because there's another power skater kid that you're going to be playing against. So there's kids that are scattered around the country right now that are, the fastest kids and wherever they go. And they've been wearing these, on and off through their whole skating career. I want to thank you guys for spending the time to share your experience. And I feel like oddly like part of the family almost, because I've watched you guys grow up with all the posting and sharing that your parents do with social media. And of course, your dad and I have been bouncing back and forth with some business ideas, and he's got a couple of ideas himself that we might be working closer together.
So there you have it. A pretty well-rounded description of what it takes to become America's hockey family. Watch for part 2 of the series. You'll meet Becca, the mom, #1 hockey mom, who has some tips for all hockey moms. And then in the next breath, power skater is not the only reason these guys are as fast as they are and as good skaters as they are. But if used in combination with strength training, weightlifting, plyometrics, and shooting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pucks in your garage with great coaching, including technical form, you're on your way to a future in hockey. So thank you so much for watching this documentary, and watch for part 2. Thank you.